What is up, everybody? My name is Bob, and welcome to P.A.W.S, the final tour. That is right, we are here. We're going to be looking through the whole thing from start to finish, a whole year's worth of work. I started this project at the end of November, and here we are, back round again at the start of November, just before Planet Coaster 2. And I can happily say that I've actually finished my first project in Planet Zoo, so really good thing. But just before we jump in and get started, there are a few pieces of housekeeping I want to get out of the way. In the description below, there's going to be a bunch of information. There's going to be the workshop link to the zoo itself if you would like to tour it. There's going to be a link to all of the workshop items that I use for this, all of my own, including the 5 blueprints I use from 4 other creators. If there's something you see while I'm going around, let me know and I'll be more than happy to add it to that collection. It'll be easy enough to do. And also, I'm using a filter, an Ansel filter, for this episode, and I'll be leaving the details for that filter down in the description below. But I owe a massive thanks to Haribo and Christina, because they originally used this filter for their Aqualuna build that they used for the Bro Nation Discord competition. So huge thanks to them, really love how it looks, and this is what we're going to be using for touring this. But here we are, we start like any normal zoo, and that is at the start. Now, of course, you could arrive by bus. I've got a little bus stop here, but also you could arrive by car if you have a car park here. And you're probably wondering why the car park itself is so small, and that's because this sanctuary was meant to be sort of a more, you have to pre-book. You can't just turn up on the day like you can to most zoos, buy an entry ticket and then walk around the sanctuary. It's something you have to pre-book, because the idea being that it's a lot more hands-on and it's a smaller group tour experience, just to make it a bit more personalized and help everyone sort of learn more. The first place we're going to step into is the Grove. The Grove is quintessentially where our lodgings are, so if you're staying overnight, these are the lodges you can rent out. These are sort of like the base level lodges. There are a couple of lodges that are inside the sanctuary as well that give you some viewing of the animals as well. So yeah, these are our base level lodges, and then here we have our first animal that isn't a big cat, and that is the peacock. Absolutely love this guy. Greth has been here since pretty much the get-go. He's overseen the whole thing. I don't even know how old he is at this point anymore. Let's have a look. He's only 8.9 years old. Okay, kind of insane given that he's been here so long and I've been building in this file for so long, but there we go. And then in the distance there, you can see our first blueprint, and that is Dommel's Tower. I don't think this project would be what it is without Dommel's Tower. It really has been a colossus of the skyline, really watching over us and getting things done. But yeah, these lodges, there's nothing actually in them. Interiors in this park are actually at a minimum. I just saw some VZ fighting there, but we can ignore that. But yeah, a lot of the interiors here are minimalist, and it's because I knew for a fact that I was going to be having quite a few details in some places. So where I could save the piece count, I was trying to save the piece count. But see here, they're all like labeled as well. So when you get your key or your codes from the entrance reception area, you can see that you'll be given like a lodge. So if you were staying in Lynx Lodge, you'd obviously be staying in here. Jaguar Lodges at the back there, and then you've got 2 more here at the front. You've got Tiger and Lion Lodge as well. So yeah, just a little bit of theming here. And there are going to be a lot of custom graphics in the workshop link for the whole park. There's going to be a Google Drive. If you wish to install that and get it in, just so that you have that little bit of extra realism when going around this park, then please feel free to do so. And even if you don't download all of them, I recommend getting the animal sign 1 and 2, because they're the ones that are going to be your habitat signs. And then as we move on around, we've got the reception area. This is one of our very few interiors with a custom graphic, of course, and then just a basic reception area. Nothing too crazy in here. Just you're going to be spending minimal time in here as a guest. So the idea being you queue up, you obviously get your codes, or if you're parking, you would go in here and you type in your registration along with your booking number, and that would register your car with the car park so that you don't get a ticket. But then we head on rounds. We've got some hand wash stations on the right here. And then also we have a few landmarks. And the first one here is going to be this building. It's Broadmoor Farmhouse. So this whole park is situated on an old farmland, and that farmyard house is the only building that remains from that era of this land's life. And then we have Broadmoor Lake as well. Broadmoor Lake was one of the oldest builds, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. But obviously, this lake is also home to some other animals. You can see one of them back there. We've got some swans on this lake. I think there are some cygnets as well, but as of to where they are right now, I don't know. They're probably behind this clump of foliage at the back. I'm going to backtrack a little bit just so that we can have a look at this map, because this map is absolutely phenomenal. It's Sparrow 838 was very kind enough to make this for me. She made maps for her 2 previous zoos, TNS and the Australia one. The name completely eludes me at this time. I do apologise, Sparrow, but both of those had absolutely incredible maps, and I was like, yep, we have to have this in here. So, and then we move on around to the Pan Theatre. If you had there's Gunther in the background there. I made like a little video for it, but obviously, if you had schools that will come in here and doing school trips, this could be a good place for you to sit the students down, do a little bit of education, but also it's somewhere that the guests themselves can sit in here, watch a video, just to acquaint themselves with maybe like some of the animals, some of the clarifications on things just before people go around, because obviously there are a few misconstrued beliefs about certain animals being big cats that aren't big cats, etc., etc. So just to help clarify with a little bit of early information. This is the tour point here. We have got walking tours going on, but obviously this is like a nice sheltered area if it is a hot sunny day like it is in game today. This gives you somewhere to sit and wait for your tour guides to turn up. Very quickly, we are going to ignore this path, but we are going to come back to it, and that's purely so that we can cover this side here. So we go over this bridge that gives you a really nice look at Broadmoor Lake here as well. And we're going to come around to our 2, well, it's sort of like a guest service area really more than anything else. You've got lion signs as well, another item that without them I don't think that this park would be what it is. But we're going to take a little step into the gift shop and see what is going on in there. So this is also a very old build, but I still love how it looks. I think this skylight in particular really helps the ambience of this whole building at the end of the day. I made this back when they were first introduced into the game, and I was always on the fence about deleting it because obviously they were causing games to go a little bit haywire with them in, so I decided to keep this in. It moved around a little bit, but really happy I did get it back in. And then this building at the back here is the Lion Inn. This is our restaurant, local restaurant. No idea why this is the wrong way round. I need to sort that out. Why is that right like that? Menu 1. Do some troubleshooting on stream right now. Nope, okay, never mind. I need to rotate them, I think. But anyway, let's go on in, and then we have to zoom through here. There's no interior to the actual building, but here, when you go through, you enter the restaurant, the actual seating area for the restaurant. And as you sit here and you dine with us at P.A.W.S, you get a view of the lions. They walk up and down this all the time. They put on such a good show. Over here we can see Aurora just lounging in front of the window, living her best life, bless her. And this is an example of the signs that we have here that I've made. So there's one for every single animal. They've got like different backdrops to them. And the QR code that you see there, I spoke about this in previous videos, actually works. If you want to find out what this lion is called, you can scan that QR code. It would take you to a link or a picture, and it would tell you the name of every single lion in this habitat. But let's head on back to the bridge, and I will continue the tour from there. So here we are back at the bridge. We just went that way, as you know, to get to the restaurant and the gift shop, but now we're going to head on around and we're actually going to start seeing some animals. First and foremost, we have the cheetahs. This habitat isn't the original habitat from the video that I did way back when, but obviously if you want to go back and see how that looked, I'll leave a link to the playlist down below. We'll hopefully get a better look of them when we go around to the other side in just a second, but we're just going to speed up a little bit here toward here. This is going to be the Central Gardens. We'll have a little closer look at this in a second as well, but I do have a little route planned out that I want to follow as we go around. And then we've got down here, we've got the Eurasian lynx. Now the Eurasian lynx habitat, I think, might be my favorite in terms of like all 3 viewing areas. This was set up to have 3 different viewing areas, and this one here is sort of like your in the forest type of look. We've got trees either side. It's quite compact and shaded over, and it's really, really nice. And then as we head on around, we enter our first guest experience area. So on the right here, we've got viewing for the leopards, but here we've got the feeding area for the leopards. So if you pay for certain experiences, you get the opportunity to come up close and personal with some of these big cats. So a keeper will come along with you, and obviously you'll got to go behind this railing here and feed them through the mesh fence. Obviously mesh is used very sparingly because people can put their fingers in, but in an instance here like this, I think it is absolutely needed. So again, if you're not someone that's taking part or you're waiting your turn, bench is here to help you sit down and wait for your turn. But yeah, just something really, I really wanted these like little personalized experiences going on through this whole thing. And here we have probably 2 of my favorite residents of the whole sanctuary here. We have got Carney and Luna. Absolutely love these 2. It's a bit difficult to see who's who from this distance because I can actually tell. There is a way of telling, but we'll have a look and we'll go around to see the other area in a minute, see if we can get a good look at whoever's indoors, because I think one just went indoors. Here we have more viewing indoors for the, or more viewing for the Eurasian lynx. Some of the views that you get in here are absolutely amazing, honestly, because of how the windows have been situated and how I've set the enrichment up. So 9 times out of 10, when you come to one of these viewing areas, you're going to be able to see the big cats that are in here. Just going to draw your attention to that area there with the lynx. The entrance area into the indoor bit obviously looks quite small, but I am using P.A.W.S because I hate how big the areas have to be in order to be functional in this game. So using P.A.W.S for that reason and that reason alone. And here we are, we have got our cat in here. Which one is this? This is Luna. This is Luna. So this is Luna indoors here. Takani's the one that's already outside. And again, we've got our custom signage. The wording's a little bit hard to see, but obviously that's to do with the lighting and potentially the filters, making it a bit more difficult to see, but they are all there. If I remember, I'll pop a little flash image of each of the animals' signs on screen for you to see. And then we're going to head across to Cougar Creek, and this probably is one of the grander habitats across the whole park as well. You see here, as you cross Cougar Creek, you get some really cool views of what's going on in the background and what's to come in the tour. So you've got this like lodge here, and then you've got like some pointed mesh here. This is Cougar Creek, and this is Tonquin. Is there on top of the bunker. Tonquin actually has a little bit of lore associated with him, and that is that he came across to us from TNS, which is Sparrow's North American zoo that she made a while back, and she is the sibling to, or he is the sibling to Sparrow's cougar. So yeah, got some little intertwining lore there to bring everything together, but we'll have a little look on the other side in a moment. Just going to poke our heads in here, nothing too interesting. This is purely just staff backstage area. There are some buildings in there to help this area function a little bit better. And then we're going to cross the bridge here into the central gardens. Just more absolutely copious amounts of foliage here in this place as you walk around. But what we're going to do is, once we get into the central gardens, we're going to turn right. We're going to take a little stroll into the central gardens, and we'll be rejoining up with the cheetahs and lions at their section. Just here, we've got another one of our landmarks. We've got the St. Albans Star. This is a meteorite that fell to Earth many, many years ago. Oh, actually, while we're here, seems that we're going to get a little bit of a treat from one of the Jaguars here, potentially. No? I'm sure we'll see him again in just a moment. Nice little cameo from Roman there. As we head on around, we're just going to dart through this portion of the Central Gardens. This Central Gardens is kind of extensive. We've got a few monuments and such. We've got like a pond here. We've got A fountain at the back there, and we've also got some guest buildings here as well. If they're thirsty or they need the toilet, then they're more than welcome to do so and get that done. And then we've got like Dommel's tower here at the base with the usual thing. If you want to toss a coin in and make a wish, then feel free to do so. And then we've got more Eurasia Lynx viewing over here. This is sort of like your forest clearing type of deal. So this is, yeah, I like I say, these, I really do like these. And then we've got these butterfly posts here. I don't think, oh, we have actually got some butterflies in here. I was going to say, these have a habit of dying out and we never get to see any, but yeah, we do have some butterflies in here just to sell the ambience a little bit more of the whole area. But we're going to zip on around here, cut across the grass. There's no keep off the grass signs or anything, so we're more than capable of just cutting through here. One little thing is we've got some more like interaction area here, so if you want to meet the cheetahs who are just happy waiting here for us. So the idea being that you come in here, you would sit on this seat here, and the keeper would bring in a cheetah. They'd get them to stand on this rock and then feed them while they're on the rock and get like educate guests on them. Then that's something that we can do here. Obviously you have to be a bit careful about which animals I pick, but cheetahs are quite docile already in comparison to a lot of the big cats here. We have a P.A.W.S, so always going to be difficult picking and choosing which one's going to be part of that. And then not so much a big cat, but here we have Chester in his new revamped habitat. Obviously, if you remember what this looked like before, I've changed it to look more like a sand dune type deal now, but yeah, again, a bit of a rework. His indoor area has had a huge rework as well. This building was a lot bigger. It had like a mesh front to it, and then it had like huge entrance doors that you had to go through, but I've scaled it all down and it looks a lot nicer now as well, in my opinion anyway. And then we're going to zip round. This is the other side of the cheetah habitat. This is the side that they do seem to prefer being on if they are ever on a side. As I say that, they're completely nowhere to be seen. We've got 3 in here. We actually have a cub in here as well, King. But then you've got Cleo and Khan as well. Cleo is the one with the king cheetah variant to Now, if you're young and excitable, then maybe some face painting is your thing. So we've got this tent here that's meant for face painting. The opposite, we've got the paints opposite here. You've got a little mug with some water in that the people would use to clean their brushes with as well. But here we're going to head on round to the Lion Lookout. Lion Lookout is the external view, so obviously, like, if they want to, going through there is how they get to the viewing for the restaurant and their indoor area. But again, they spend a lot of their time back here. We have got Mufasa here, the male of the group, while I've got this very loud education noise in my ear. And then we've got Bayo, Ashira, and Aurora. Aurora being the white line, and then Bayo is the darker female lioness, and then you've got Ashira, which is like slightly paler in terms of like color, like a tan color. Toilets here on the left, but nothing too exciting. Not going to be going into those, of course. And then we head on round to the Jaguar. Now, the Jaguar were the first habitat that I got to. I said to myself, I really want to do something different. I think each of these habitats have something very unique about them, but the Jaguars were the first ones where I wanted them to have some swimming here, which Rowan is beautifully exhibiting right here. And it's absolutely amazing that they use this. I really love how this turned out. So it just gives you that. I remember watching a YouTube video ages ago about South America, and this guy who went to South America and his favorite animal was the Jaguar, and they're taking a boat. And as they're traveling down the boat, this is the sort of thing that they were greeted with. You've got these like high river banks with hills and lumps going over with foliage covering them. And I really wanted to get that look emulated in here as well. And I think I've managed to do a fairly good job of that. But yeah, oh god, they're so good at this. They really do like to put on a show, Rowan and Maya. Rowan being the melanistic Jaguar here, whereas your common variant is over here on the left in Maya. Really happy that all the animals are out here and giving us a show today for you all. Just another example of one of the signs here. Again, like, I think education is really important as you're walking around, because it's more hands-on. I felt like the amount of education I needed in terms of signage wasn't as much, because you are going to be accompanied by a tour for the most part when you're going around the sanctuary. And here we are at the clouded leopards. So here we have got Shadow. Does have a partner in here in Mamana, but she's probably going to be on the other side. But this is Shadow. Oh, here's Mamana here. Oh, stuck in that ice block. Again, I'm able to tell the difference. It's kind of sad, but that's maybe a testament to how much time I've spent in this suit. I'll pause it very quickly here so I can tell the difference. This spot here on Mamana is solid, whereas if you look here on Shadow, it's like broken into. So just little things like that I've learned to pick up on, and I'm able to tell the difference from them just by looking at them. It's not just me making it up. But the real keystone of this habitat is this waterfall here that I made. Absolutely love how this turned out. It's just the way it bounces off of the different angled rocks and makes its way down into this moat is probably one of my favourite things about this whole habitat. Obviously the clouded leopards are very, very cool. Very rare they actually go up there. I don't see them do a lot of this stuff, so they really are putting on a show for the cameras today. It's kind of insane. But again, this here is raised up area that one of them just knocked the box off of. You can actually see that when you're standing at the lion habitat, so it's that sense of intrigue. You see that there is a cat around here, you're just maybe not sure which cat it is, and encourage you to go and have a closer look. And then another meet and greet area again. Clouded leopards are kind of docile, so it allows you to be able to have these sort of like up close meet and greets with these animals. So again, sitting there behind the barrier, making sure that they don't make any sudden movements and stuff like that to scare the animals, but a nice little log that if they were to get the animal to sit up on, they can feed them and give them an up close show of the animals as well. We're going to take a little dip in here, but we are going to backtrack afterward, and this is the bird of prey open day area. So again, this area has a little bit of lore to it. Across the year we would have multiple events that we'd be hosted across certain weeks, and it's just a way of Sanctuary being able to raise some money. So we'd open the doors to people to be able to come in and do some activities with us, and one of those would be some birds of prey shows. So we've obviously got these poles here that you'll be able to stand the animals up on. We've got one here in front of the here one in front of the guests as well, so that you'd be able to get a closer look. But yeah, this whole area is meant for guest purposes at the end of the day for those open day areas. But then back here we've got some more food and whatnot. We've got like this van here on the left that sells food. We've got a bouncy castle, of course, because you'd be trying to encourage kids to come to these open day events, because at the end of the day they're the next generation. They're the ones that we need to be inspiring in terms of caring about these cats. So, and then we've got some archery here as well. I stole the angry archer's bow. I'm sure he won't mind, but yeah. And then we'll have a quick look at the caracals, but I will be backtracking back on myself in a moment, and we'll go back to where we just were, but we'll have a quick look over here. In here we've got Neo and Nebula. So Neo being the melanistic caracal. Only the second melanistic in the whole sanctuary, behind Rowan. And then Nebula is the one that's sort of like meandering her way at the back there. You may have just seen her. But yeah, from here we're going to take a little trek back to the area we were just at before the open day. Okay, not quite there yet, but I thought I'd just take a little moment to stop here and show this board off. This is my like board of appreciation. We did a WWF fundraiser, I think it was last month. I think it was, yeah, middle of last month. And we raised £250, which is absolutely amazing. So the people that donated were honorated by placed on that board there. So they will have my eternal gratitude, and they are now immortalized in paws forever. And then here we have the Bengal tiger, Bruce. I knew he'd been here because he absolutely loves this box for some strange reason, and he likes to just stand there talking to himself as well. He does love it. But again, this area here that he's about to walk through, this would never be usable in the base game. So Planet Zoo Plus allows me to have smaller entrance areas for the cats like this that really just make it look a bit more realistic. And he has such a big habitat to himself. I'm super jealous of him. He's got a really nice habitat, I think. As we head on down here, we've got this. You might notice this very cool statue on the right here. This is our next blueprint that is from a fellow creator, and that is Nautica. I'll add a link to her channel in the description down below. She's very talented. I asked for a statue. She was the one who made the crane statues, and when I asked for a big cat statue, that was literally sent to me, I think, a day later. Absolutely insane how quick she made that. So, and here again, underwater viewing or underwater swimming for the Bengal tiger. People don't realize this, but Bengal tigers are actually quite prolific swimmers. They love swimming, so thought it was a good opportunity to get some more underwater there viewing for them. I'm not quite sure where Bruce is at the moment. I think he might have gone back indoors. Yeah, he does like to spend a lot of time. He does walk up and down this bank quite a bit similar to how the Jaguars do at their section. But yeah, really love how this looks. I've gone that little bit of, because this one's not as deep as the Jaguar one, I've put in that little bit of detail in terms of the bit of moss building up on the bottom. It probably does need to clean out this tank, so I'll make sure that the keepers are made aware of that. Now we're going to head on around to the Pallas cat before we go back on ourselves yet again. We're going to zip around here. This is the other area for the Jaguar viewing. They do come over here quite frequently now. I was actually worried that they weren't using this side, but it turns out they do actually use this side quite a bit. So, and then in here we've got just another generic staff area. Like I say, I've tried not to put too much effort into the indoor areas. So when you go in here, it really is the bare minimum. So I've just tried to save the piece count for places that it matters at the end of the day. Like this, the Pallas cat mesh house. Again, I have to say a massive thank you to Goron. Goron was the one who did the roof originally, and I sort of repurposed it. He sort of put it on the workshop and was like, if you want to use this for something, be my guest, go ahead and use it. So that's something that I've gone and done with this. And it's just a cozy little mesh hut for them to live in. Again, their own custom sign here as well. Timing's a little bit jank at times, it has to be said though, but I'm glad that they were added. I actually had this planned out before the Zookeeper pack came out as well, so I knew where the Pallas cat was going to go and I knew where the African leopard was going to go. But okay, so we're currently here at number 12 based on the map. So the map should help you get around the sanctuary if you plan on touring it and download it. But also I do have these like signs here that are dotted around, so these should help in terms of getting you to animals that you've not seen before. So we haven't seen the snow leopard and Siberian tiger, so let's head on in this direction. Now, the Siberian tigers are the largest cats that we have here at the sanctuary, more specifically Olin. Olin is the largest cat in terms of his mass and just general size. He is an absolute unit of a big cat. So this is Mirabelle, the pseudo-melanistic. Olin is most probably indoors, but yeah, they have this like really cool habitat that was kind of a mix of the clouded leopard habitat and the Eurasia lynx habitat. So this area here is more akin to the clouded leopard habitat with the way it's like bent around this water. But then this side over here is more akin to the Eurasia lynx, where you had that sort of built-up tree area in the middle of the habitat that you could see through. And then on the other side there, we've got some more viewing or guest experience related stuff, but we'll cover that in a sec as we head on around. I'm actually just going to backtrack here a little bit because I didn't show off Koki Lodge. This is one of the guest experience lodges. Yeah, sorry. Back here, we've got one of our guest experience lodges. This is Koki Lodge. Again, there's nothing inside here. This is purely just for the idea that if you're staying in this lodge, you can come out here in the mornings and just look over and get views like this as Tonquin meanders his way down the valley. He's a very, very cute animal, it has to be said. Yes, apologies. I will now head on back to the track. I'll resume our regularly scheduled programming. One thing I will say as I go on through here is that please make sure you're utilising these falling leaf pieces. I think they set such a nice ambience for the whole game when you utilise these pieces. And I will admit the filter does a lot of the heavy lifting for me, but I think when you've got things like the falling leaves going on, I think it adds that added level of vibrance and life to this place. Does feel like we've got quite a lot of staff though. And as we head on here, this is going to be a staff area. This is like the main staff hub that we've got here, so this is where most of our buildings are housed. And again, I've done minimal interior work with this. It's literally just staff buildings inside here just to make it functional and actually have a purpose, and these aren't just shells. If I can battle with these stairs and get up here, but up here we've got like a winch. So up here we've got like a area where you can potentially feed Onquin from. Again, we've got the bucket with, I think there's food in this one, no, because of the rocks. We've got like a winch to raise and lower this like panel that sits in or behind his entrance area to stop him from getting in and out if you want to go in and out of the habitat. And then as we head on around, we've got more staff, more guest related areas, apologies. So on the left here, we've got Vihoha Lodge. We'll have a quick look at that as well. But on the right here, we've got just more guest areas, a little seating area, toilets, a shop as well to be able to sit down and get something to eat and drink. But Vihoha Lodge is the second lodge that we have in the sanctuary that gives you like an overviewing experience. This bit here is where the keepers will be able to get through and get into the habitat. You can see our next cat there right at the back. Second to last cat of this floor. If you haven't seen the video for this animal already, I highly recommend you check it out. Massive thank you to everyone who has watched that video so far. The support on that video has been absolutely insane. Like, I can't believe how well it is done. So yeah, huge thank you for that. But here you've got like your viewing here for Najma, the African leopard. It's a lot more up close and personal viewing compared to the cougar, but I think it kind of needed to be because of how that habitat is laid out. We'll zip on around, and yeah, so this is like your first introduction, your handshake as you come around. You've obviously got, you see the building in the background, but you can also see Najma quite often using this walking frame. I think the real star here has to be this viewing window. I've used this viewing window in quite a few places, but when you actually come up, she gets really close to the glass a lot of the time. You can get a really good view of her. I was a bit apprehensive when I first saw the African leopard model, but I have to say that it is actually a really nice one. Just the general frame of the animal. The face is a little bit derpy, I think, when you look at it at certain angles, but stuff like this, like she just wanders up to the glass. She absolutely loves being seen by people, and who wouldn't when you've got a rosette pattern like that on your body. And then here we just got like another area here. This is like if you was coming down from our last animal, our snow leopards. If you're coming down from this way, it just gives you something to see as you're coming down here as well, because it's a rotation line feeder, so you may get a glimpse of the African leopard through there as well. But here we are at the final habitat here now, which is the snow leopard house. Probably the most elaborate habitat in the whole sanctuary, and it's definitely going to be considered the newest in terms of like where it would be built in the Ark's timeline. Obviously the last one I built was the African leopard, but I think if we were using a real time scale here, the last habitat that probably would have been built would have been this snow leopard house. But we're going to head on up. And as you head on in, it's just really meant to sell the whole look of the Himalayas. So we've got this waterfall here. We've got some indoor viewing. They do quite often come in here and have a little lounge around, but 9 times out of 10, they'll be found outdoors here. So we've got Nate and Rosa. This is Rosa up here on the on the top, and then we got Nate just hanging outside the indoor area. Not quite sure what he's doing there, but yeah, he's just having a little rest on site outside. But really love how this habitat came out. I love the slanted window. I love the viewing area for them. Their sign is probably one of my favourite ones as well in the whole habitat. Just yeah, really glad with how it turned out. But that is going to be it for the tour of P.A.W.S. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Again, a massive thank you to everyone who has paid their support during this series, whether it be watching the videos, liking the videos, commenting on the videos, liking any of the pictures that I've posted on social media, teasing it. But obviously, all good things must come to an end, and that is going to be it for P.A.W.S. I'm going to throw in a few cinematics right at the end here, just so that I can show you some of the other so I can show you some of the cooler areas in a bit more longer detail. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Peace out. I love you all, and I will catch you all for Planet Coaster 2 and Stafford Zoo when that hits the channel. Bye bye.
Alle ora henriemio per cima muso crepa. Mufa hua mutu bet opera. Und Karl in der Kasse